Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to our free online lesson. So let me just admit everyone first. I will get things prepared. We will begin the online lesson shortly. Okay. Let me see if there's anyone else. All right, let's get started. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our free online lesson. Before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Hakim Muhsin, and I'm the CAD application engineer for acadsystems. So for today's topic, we will be looking into Revit parametric roof. So before we jump into the demonstration on how to create the parametric roof, let's talk a little bit about what is exactly parametric. And we will look into the overview of the process that we are going to do today. So basically, parametric roof is a modeling process with the ability to change the shape of the model geometry as soon as the dimension value is modified. So in a simpler, in my Facebook, sorry. How do I do that? It's okay. So I was saying that in a simpler terms, parametric can be, I can explain in simpler terms is, for example, we have this roof. So what does it make it different from parametric and non-parametric? So non-parametric, it will be like modeling this as you see, and it will stay just like that unless you edit the whole thing. But for parametric, if you can imagine that this whole roof, there is a single elements of frames like this. So if I input a dimension or I just make it bigger, and the pattern will also adjust accordingly. Okay. Okay, I will show you the overview, and then I think you will get what we are looking into. Okay, so for today's process, before we jump into the Revit, this is the overview. We have a simple building like this, and I want to create a roof on top of it. And here I just prepared a roof line for guidance. So this red roof line is smaller and the blue line is bigger. So I'll just show you how I change the dimension, and the pattern will follow through accordingly. And from that, I will create an in-place mask, and I will set the grid. And then using a metric generic pattern-based model family, I will then load into it, and it will finally look like something like this. So basically, it is a nested family in a family. Okay, without further ado, let's jump into Revit and start with the demonstration. Okay, so I have my Revit open here. Okay, to start, we would have to create a mesh. So from in the tab here, we'll go to meshing and type, and we will be creating in-place mesh. And it will just showing the mask mode by default. It doesn't show us. So okay. So for this mask, I would name it as roof. And okay. And then there's a lot of ways of doing this mask, but I prefer to do it like this. I think this is the most simplest way of doing it. So I'll just click on model and pick lines. So as I have laid out this roof line, I can just pick this two. And then I will have to move it forward to create the outline of the roof. I mean, I have to move it upwards. So for that, I will have to go to, from the project browser, we go to the north elevation. Okay, before that, click the line that we want to move up. And then we go into north elevation. And I would like to move this upward. So if you would try to move this, you will be unable to do it. So, but another way of doing it, you can just copy it and hold on shift, and now you can move it upwards. Okay, so the front part, I've moved it upwards like this. And then I will delete the original one. And then I will also move the one at the back. Click on it and then go to the north elevation. And again, copy, hold on shift, and I'll place it somewhere here. And then go back to the 3D view, and I will delete this line. Okay, next we would like to create the roof by clicking on both these model lines and then create form. Click on this. So we'll show you some options of how the mesh will be created. So choose this one, the flat roof, the flat surface. And now it will show you something like this. And next, what would we do is we want to create those panel surface. So we can go click on divide surface, and that will divide your plane into a grid. So you can click on it, and then at the property tab here, you will see the layout of the U and V grid. So if you would imagine that each of these squares are actually the roof panels. So I would like to input the dimension of the roof panel. So if you look at the U grid, now the layout is at fixed number and the number is 12. So if you will count this, it is 12 by 12, the U and V grid. So I would like to change this. I will change it to a fixed distance, and the distance will be 3000. And similarly to the V grid, fixed distance and 3000. So I hit on apply, and it changes according to this input. So we will have to leave it to this first. So we are almost done with the mesh on this part. And then we will go into creating the nested family, which is the family metric generic model pattern base. So basically we are uploading a pattern to this mesh. So if you see here, now it is set to no pattern, and we will be creating a roof panel pattern and then load into this. Okay, let's just follow through. Okay, to create that, I will go to new, and go to new and then family. And then you will have to select the template file. So just make sure that you know where are the template files. So it's under English here, and look for metric generic model pattern base here. And then you can click on open. So this is the template for metric generic pattern base. So first of all, I would like to change the spacing to fit accordingly to what we did with our mass. So by default, it's 3048. I would change this to 3000. It is advisable to do this in the same dimension to your mass, so it wouldn't conflict. And sometimes if it's different, it will conflict and the pattern will be a bit messy. So next, you imagine we will be creating this single panel. Okay, so to do that, we will have to draw the outline of this frame, basically. So I will click on reference, and we will be placing point elements of reference. And first we need to set. We will set on this plane and then click on it and just repeat it for 4 times. I think you will see what I'm doing after this. It's a bit confusing now. Okay, now I have placed all the points and I want to bring the points upwards. So you can go ahead and try to click on individually, but the simpler way to do it is by selecting all and then filter and check off all the other things and just leave reference points and then click on OK. And then you will have an offset here at the property tab. Just input 1500. And then the reference point will be moved upwards 1500 by 1500. And then next I will be sketching those lines. I will click on reference, and you need to make lines from here to here. So now it's impossible to select this, so make sure your 3D snapping is on. Then you can click on this point to this point to create the line. And then again, this point to this point, this point to this point, and this point to this point. Okay, escape. Now we have these 4 reference lines, and we can go ahead and create form. It will give you these 2 options, and click on this one. And basically we have the panel. Okay, next I will input the material of this panel. So you have to click on this panel, just hover on it and press tab to get the selection, and then go to the property tab under the material, click on this to associate a family parameter, and click here to a new parameter, and I will name this parameter to a roof panel, and it is an instance. Okay, and then we click on the family types, and here, as you can see, it creates a roof panel parameter, and then we can input the material. So the material will be glass. You can also create your own material. So for this one, I would probably duplicate, and I would like this glass to be yellow, so glass yellow. And then for the color, I will be changing it from blue to yellow. And this one, change the color. The graphics use render appearance. And for the transparency, I would give it like 40% transparency, and hit on apply and OK. Click on OK. And if you were to change it to other kind of graphic display, just now we were in the shaded mode, and as I change it to consistent colors, it will show you the material that we have just created. Okay, next we will be creating these frames. So basically, we have to place the reference point first. So I will place here and here, and then I will draw the reference line, and then again a point to get the midpoint, and then I will draw the reference line from this edge to the center. And just repeat this for each edges or corners. So then we have this reference line for our framing. So next is to create the 3D. So we will have to create the mesh. For that, I would put a reference point, for example, here. And then click on the point, and it will show you a plane like this. And click on model and select the circular thing. You need to make sure that you are clicking the plane. Sorry, click on the plane. Okay. Make sure that it is drawn according to the plane. So I would just input this radius to 80. And then I can click on the reference line around it. Try your best to click on it. You can select, add to your selection. You can press on Control and click. And then also add this. And then click on Create Form. And now a form will be created as a frame to this panel. And then we will continue doing basically the same process for the others. Again, we will have to click on reference and place a reference point, and then click on the reference point and create a circle. So for this one, I will input it similar to the upper part, 80. And you can go ahead and do the same process to other lines, other reference lines. But another way of doing it, you can also select these two and then just copy. So just place it anywhere. So I have 5 of these. And then move this to this line. So how to do that? You just click on the reference point, and then up here you will have the new host option. Click on it and then place it on the new line. So it will create according to the new host. And then just repeat the process. Pick a new host and place it here. pick a new host and place it here. And the last one would be for the down here. And for the down here, I would want to make it bigger. So I would input 120. And next, it will be, oh, so I missed the host. So just make sure that you get the host properly. Okay, now you can click on the reference pane and the circle and create form. So just repeat that for the other. Then we have our basically a pattern for this roof panel, for the single roof panel. Then we can go ahead and load into the project. So we are done with it. You can also save it first. For example, save as family, and you can name it. So I will save this to my desktop and name it as roof panel. Save, just to be sure. And then you can load into project. Let's go to the 3D view. Okay, now it's loaded, but now we have to choose the pattern. We click on our roof massing here, and then at the property tab, as you can see, now it is set to no pattern. You can drop this down and look for our roof panel. So under the rectangle, this is our newly created pattern. So click on it, and then it will load to your massing. So right now it is upside down. So you can just click on it, and at the property tab, just scroll down and you find component flip. So just click on that, and it will flip your components. And then your roof is basically done. So the thing that I was saying earlier about the parametric, about changing the dimension, and these patterns will just follow through. So if I go to the top view, this is according to the red roof line that I created. So how do I change this easily to this blue line, just to make this roof bigger? So you can hover to this roof line. They'll have like a reference line here, and just hover on one of the lines and click and press tab until you get to select just one individual line. Then click on it. It will give you a gizmo like this. You can basically drag it forward or upwards, and your pattern will also follow through the changes. Or you can also input a dimension and it will follow through. For this one, I will just use the gizmo. I'll go back to the top view and I will drag this to this line. And as you can see, the pattern also changes automatically. And I would also change the back. Selecting it is a bit tricky, but you can just hover on it and press tab until you get it. And then again, you can drag to the place that you like. In our case, it will be the blue line. So this is what makes Revit powerful, the capability of doing parametric modeling. So it will save you time and help you to be faster with your modeling. And now basically we have a bigger roof. You can also play around with the properties. And for this one, the border tile is set to partial. And I will just choose an empty. And it will change this roof to be a little bit more cleaner. So that is basically our roof. So actually I have prepared the columns that I hid first. So you can also go ahead and create your columns. For this one, I'll just use a generic model for the columns just to show you how it works. Okay, so these are the columns. And that is basically it. So this is our parametric roof. And to show you, I can also move it upwards like that, and we change it accordingly. So that is all about our parametric roof. And for today's topic, so do we have questions? You can type in in the chat if you have questions. So while waiting for your questions, I would like to share with you our website. So to to visit our website, just go into acadsystems.com, and that will bring you to this our homepage. And here you can look for information for our latest Autodesk promotions and news. And we also show our other free online lessons that are coming up. So basically you can click on this and book your places. And we also have our training schedules. And lastly, and most importantly, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube from our website. So you can just click on this icon for our Facebook. So this is our Facebook. You can follow us to get updated with basically with what we do. And we also have our YouTube channel, and we have an extensive library of a lot of topics that we have covered previously. So you can go into it and just basically look at what topics that you like and learn from it, basically. Okay, from the chat. So roof is not like truss. It make in small piece by piece. Okay, for this one is, sorry. Roof is not like truss, it make in small piece by piece. I'm not sure I understood your question. But this is basically roof by pattern base. There's a lot of ways of creating roof, and this is modeling roof by pattern base. Can two type of pattern in one roof? I don't think you can do it in one roof, but basically if you created two massing, for example, this is one mass. So for example, you want the middle part to be a different pattern. So you will have to create two massing from the beginning. Okay, example, engineer want to take this roof for calculation is hard, right? I mean, I expo engineer. Okay. Yeah, so it is hard, but we can generate the schedules, but I believe that is to calculate like the number of panels. We can do that from our schedules, but for structural analysis, yeah, unfortunately we can't do that from this method. Okay, roof opening is possible. I haven't tried that, but believe it will follow through your meshing shape. So if you created your mesh with an opening, that will be possible, maybe. Or you can also create a void form later, I guess. Or maybe you just create your mesh at the perimeter and leave a hole basically in the middle. So you just have to play through with the methods of creating this and get what you want, basically. Okay, welcome. I hope that will answer your questions. So that will be it from me, and thank you for joining in. Don't forget to check out our website, our YouTube, and thank you very much for joining me today, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.